Hi, my name's Olivia and I'm an associate with LegalVision. Today I'm going to share with you 3 things that you need to know about sending personal data overseas to ensure your business is compliant with the GDPR. If you're a business collecting personal data from individuals, you must not transfer that personal data overseas to a third party located outside the United Kingdom unless an exception applies. The 3 key exceptions are if you're transferring personal data to an approved jurisdiction, if appropriate safeguards have been put in place to protect the transfer, or you have consent from the individual. So let's explore these three exceptions a little bit further. The first exception is where you're sending personal data to a third party in a jurisdiction which has been recognised as having adequate data protection laws. The UK Information Commissioner's Office, also known as the ICO, have approved certain regions and countries such as the European Economic Area, Korea, New Zealand and Switzerland as being adequate jurisdictions. So if you're transferring the personal data to a third party in one of those approved jurisdictions, you can proceed with the transfer with a standard data processing agreement in place. If you're sending the personal data to a supplier outside one of those approved jurisdictions, instead you'll need to ensure that there are appropriate safeguards in place. The ICO has published standard contractual clauses, which they have published and which need to be signed by you and your supplier to meet the requirements of this restriction. You may also need to do a transfer impact assessment to assess whether the personal data will continue to be protected in that jurisdiction. And the third exception is to rely on consent from the individual. This consent needs to be explicit, specific and voluntary, so it is used less than the other exceptions. On a practical level, you can ensure GDPR compliance by inquiring with your suppliers and contractors to see if they're overseas, in which case you could be sending personal data outside of the UK. If they're outside of the UK, see if they're in an approved jurisdiction, and if they're not, put in place a data processing agreement with those approved standard contractual clauses in place with your supplier. If you need legal assistance with your GDPR obligations or cookie policy, our experienced lawyers can assist with this through our legal membership. You can call the number on the screen or get in contact with us at info@legalvision.co.uk.